What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and Dad, Garrett Morlang, and here, the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and still resident superstar, Adrian Holmes. What's up, Adrian?
Hey, Garrett. You know, it's always nice to see you, but I don't know if you heard or if you saw, there's this guy that kind of snuck into the call.
Not again. This keeps happening.
I don't know. You know him? Is he a friend of yours?
I don't recognize him. It kind of, all I see is green. It just kind of, it kind of looks like one of those like inflatable aliens. That's all it looks like. Yeah, those you get from like the arcade.
Alien.
Yeah, that you get from the arcade.
Is that the mailbag guy?
Oh.
Does he deliver the mailbag? No.
Maybe it's the mailbag. Is that the who are you?
Sir, do you deliver the mail, sir?
Are you lost, sir? Sir?
I have delivered a package or two, if you know what I mean.
Also joining us here tonight is the heavyweight podcasting champion of the world, JJ Purdom.
Hey, thank you guys. And Garrett, Adrian, kind of a somber moment. Thank you guys so much for putting up with not having me on the show the last couple of weeks. I know sometimes I'm hit or miss with my work schedule being what it is, and there was an absolutely massive termite infestation in Argentina, and that country needed my help. So they reached out, and of course, I was paid handsomely for it. Unfortunately, we've left them decimated with no money, but they've got no termites. So I say a job well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
also,
sounds good.
Interestingly enough, a lot of the women there walk around with no bra and got the umbaggy boobs. It's amazing. Like incredible.
Argentina, you said, huh?
Yeah, don't Google that. You're gonna. I wouldn't Google that.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we're all the gang's back together. It's been a little bit, but Penguin.
Are you better from the diarrhea last week, Garrett? Or was that 2 weeks ago?
You know.
So Garrett actually had to take a loan out and had to buy quite a bit of the Imodium AD because he was pooping himself quite a bit.
A good little.
You're feeling a lot. I mean, you look the colors back in his
I just
face.
drink Dubby.
Well,
Dubby stops diarrhea.
It will stop diarrhea.
Forget Pepto-Bismol.
Oh, that's right.
I drink Dubby.
Dude. I can't wait for you to get to the ad.
Oh, it's been building up for a while too. I got a big load of stuff that I am going to let loose.
It's good to be back.
Not like a,
Is it good to be back?
Oh, you'll see during ad time. Go ahead. Let's get started.
Today, we're talking about Starfield getting delayed again. Suicide Squad. Sorry, it's hard to say sometimes when you don't read good. Sure. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League getting delayed again. And Playdate launching a new update and raising some prices. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumple Smash, Eddie Martin, and Kajoma01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys where you can support us starting at just $1 a month to get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show and Super Gamer Book Club, hosted by Adrian over there. By the way, the new episode up this month is Hi-Fi Rush featuring DJ Trues. Go support us and check that one out. Fantastic game. It's always a blast having Trows over on the episode with us, so go check that out. Free episode up this month. If you're curious about Book Club, what it's all about, you can catch that over on podcast apps. Just search for Super Gamer Book Club, or over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/supergamerboys. And you can watch or listen to the episode about Kingdom Hearts featuring KK Ryder and Angel. That was a good one as well.
That was a great one.
I finally played the Kingdom Hearts. So that means I don't have to play anymore. I'm pretty sure means.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Yeah, huh?
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't have to play any more of the 500 of them that there are.
Nope, not a minute.
And upcoming this month, at the end of this month, we're going to be playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That's right.
That's right.
So look forward to that one. I just fired it up the other day. Starting a little late on it, so I hope I have enough time to finish it.
If you mainline it, you should be fine.
Okay.
Please tell me this is the one with the hookers.
They're all with that.
I mean, isn't that all Grand Theft Auto games?
Okay, so I want so desperately for a video of Garrett enjoying the scenes with the hookers, because I know you're into the real thing. So I think it's going to be kind of cool for you. Well, Argentinian only, obviously. But so I'm curious how that works.
Well, I'm curious too.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about our Patreon later on this show. I want to give a quick shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Thank you so much. Make sure to go show them some support on YouTube and podcast. You can check in the description, get links over to Spotify and Apple Music to listen to their music. Go follow, favorite, whatever you can do, heart, like, add it to your playlist, listen to their stuff. Go check them out. And now it's time to check the mail. So, did you bring us any goodies from Argentina?
Mail-shaped goodies? Bring anything.
Mail-shaped goodies?
I didn't bring anything, unfortunately.
Nothing.
I'm so sorry. Was ill-prepared, but they have no termites. You know what I mean? So, I did
the termites eat the mail? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
They don't really eat paper, but for the sake of the podcast and ad-libbing, yes and. Yes and.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the dedication to the bit. Just absolutely fluid. Just right into that one. That was seamless. Hoo-wee. You were on a roll tonight.
Hey guys, it's 2 hours later in Nebraska and I'm tired. So sometimes it comes easier than it normally does. You know what I mean?
All right. Too bad you don't have some Dubby.
Well, then I'd be up all night.
Yeah, there's caffeine in it, yeah. This first question comes from Selkies, who ask, who is a superhero or villain that you'd love to see a full series or game about? Any ideas? Any thoughts on that?
This is a great question.
Very good question.
You guys go first. I'm still noodling on it.
I'm going to tell you, I would love to see a dark side. I would love to see like where Darkseid comes from, like why he became who he became. I feel like I've never heard of the backstory. I'm sure there probably is in the comic books, but I'm going to say Darkseid.
Okay.
I think that it could be interesting.
Yeah. For me, I thought like a Black Panther, like a stealth Black Panther game where like sneak around, but then it had the combat that I feel like it would be very similar to like the Spider-Man type combat because he's just very acrobatic and athletic. So like, yeah, give me some more like sneaking around as Black Panther, but then just like beating the crap out of people like in the Spider-Man games. Ooh, I think that'd be awesome. So good. And it'd probably have a killer soundtrack because the movies have amazing soundtracks. So I hope the game would have a killer soundtrack too.
I'm gonna do. I would want two of them. There's two different ones, right? So the first one I would like is kind of in the style of an Elden Ring. I would want a Blade game. I think that would be sick.
Oh man, that's
yes, I would be all about that.
Now, is it going to be Wesley Snipes voicing the character?
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, I love.
We haven't seen Mahershala yet, so I can't say Mahershala, but Wesley is the only reference that we have. So that would be the first one.
When is that new Blade movie supposed to come out? Didn't they announce that years ago?
They're supposed to be starting shooting it soon.
Oh man!
So hold your horses. It's coming. The second one, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but me and my brother used to play it all the time. There is a Hulk game that came out on Xbox and PS2. I think it came out on GameCube too. Incredible Hulk: Ultimate Destruction.
Yes, my cousin had that. I never played it much, but I remember watching
Hulk
it.
Game ever made. It was so good. You could just throw tanks, get choppers out of the air. Little army men would try to be shooting at you. You just blow up buildings and stuff like that. I think you could make an excellent Luke Cage game like that because he has that strength and he has that indestructibility. Mm-hmm. So awesome. He'd go in there and do like the Black Ops jobs that nobody wants to do because he's a hero for hire. So you pay him and he'll do what you need to do. Yes, dude. Go in there and destroy that bunker and get those cats out of there. they're just shooting at him. Bullets are just flying off. He's picking up like big weight rockets or something and just chucking them at people. Yeah, no, that would rule.
That would be awesome. Now the old, you reminded me of that old Hulk game. Like, also then in turn reminded me even further back in my memory of like it basically was like because it was like more like 3D space, right? It wasn't like watching the gameplay. Sandbox. Yeah, watching because like I said, my cousin had it, and I remember watching it, and it reminded me of like, oh, this is like a 3D like Rampage, basically, is what it felt
pretty much.
like.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
A Rampage skinned with the Hulk,
but it's really good.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. Dang.
How did they
why don't they hire us to make video games? We got some good ideas. We got good ideas, guys.
I don't know, but they're busy. They got Suicide Squad to make. Gee, thanks.
Remember Gotham Knights?
Yeah, that's another banger.
Yeah, that one came.
They're on a roll.
I saw it was on sale on PSN the other day. I'm like, is it worth $40?
It wasn't $5 yet.
That's too. No, it was like 40.
It's gonna be down to 20 sooner than you think.
Yeah. Even then, I'm still scratching my head about it.
All right. This next question comes to us from Hophead Ed, who asked, Mount Rushmore of video game stories. What are your top stories in video games? Top 4.
Golly.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Takes up 2 spots.
2? Oh, you got 1 and 2?
Last of Us 2 takes up 2 spots. There you go. Mount Rushmore. Nobody else deserves to be on there.
I don't know about all that. I would say Last of Us for 1. I would say Undertale. I would say do I want to put that up there? It's not really a story though. Go ahead, Garrett.
I actually feel bad because I was joking around about the Last of Us thing. Last of Us, like I was like, that kind of came across like I legitimately meant only Last of Us. And
I know you didn't.
Yeah. So for me, it's Last of Us and Last of Us 2. I do believe the two of them should be on the Mount Rushmore. I honest to God, you guys know, I love Little Nightmares.
I
think Little Nightmares for me, that story is so good. It's so good. And then I think I'm going to round it out with Uncharted: A Thief's End.
Okay.
That game is an incredible story, and it really wraps up Nathan Drake's story. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that kind of, for me, that rounds out that Mount Rushmore.
I'm going to say BioShock for my third.
It's so hard because there's so many.
There's so
fantastic. Many. Like there's no real wrong answers here, right, to be honest. Like,
and then for my fourth, I'm gonna say, I think Walking Dead season 1. I think that was a phenomenal
season 1 really
story.
was good.
For the Telltale game ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, I have the first Last of Us, Death Stranding, the first God of War 2018.
Over Ragnarok.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I loved Ragnarok. Ragnarok was fantastic, but for me, the story was way more impactful, the first one. The second one had a good story, but the first one, hit so hard, especially just at the time that I played it too. That one sticks with me. So that's probably up there. And my fourth one, man,
which Metal Gear are you going to pick? Go ahead.
No, I was tempted to throw a Mori on there.
Really? I'm not opposed to that at all. It ran through my Rolodex of stuff when I was looking.
Yeah,
what a game.
I mean, because if I said a Metal Gear, that would have just been 1, 2, 3, and my Mount Rushmore would have been Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear 3, Metal Gear 4. That's it. But no, so that's a given, you know. But no, I think I'd have to give that fourth slot to Amori. That game was just such an intense experience. I mean, and we talked about it in our book club. You can go check it. I think it's up for free now. Go listen to that. Go watch that. Play the game first, please, and then go watch and listen to that, or not, or just go watch and listen to it. But that game is such a crazy experience. Yeah, I mean, that sticks with you. That sticks with you. I just recently watched Steph. She finished playing through it finally, like a few weeks ago. And I watched the ending of her playing it, and like, man, it was just emotional again, like watching her play it and like seeing her reaction, like, oh my God, it was so sad. Yeah, Omori, fantastic. It's a storytelling. I'm still waiting on my art book. It keeps getting delayed. I pre-ordered it back when we did that episode, and it was supposed to come out in like January, and then it got delayed. They just said like spring of 2023. So I'm like, please, I need the art book.
Of course, honorable mention for me, Kingdom Hearts 2. It's not on there because I feel like for it to really hit, you had to have played the other ones before it. So
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So we all there's a thread that all of us picked Last of Us on the Mount Rushmore video game stories. I'm curious, just to break off for a second about Last of Us. Have you guys been watching the TV show?
Have
you guys
we?
completely caught
I've
up?
not seen the finale because I was busy last night, and tonight we're doing the podcast. But I've watched everything up until then. Yeah.
So I haven't either.
I mean, everything's,
yesterday's
to be
episode.
honest, most things have been spoiled online anyways. Like you scroll through and IGN's already posted most of the spoilers. So it's like, oh, thanks IGN.
So I just wanted to bring it up because I haven't watched the episode from yesterday, but I have been so blown away by.
Uh-oh.
That's how blown away he was.
He was so blown away that his computer blew up.
He was literally blown away.
It's like the meme where it just like totally blows up. Until he gets back, I'll talk about my thoughts on it. No, the show's a freaking 10 out of 10. Like,
yes,
every episode I'm like, all right, is this the one where they misstep? Is this the one that goes down? And like,
I was waiting.
They knocked it out of the park every single episode. And
every time
I'm like, okay, all right. Like you left me like both, like, I don't know, every range of emotion from like sadness to joy to like
despair,
intense, terrifying
anger.
despair, anger, like the whole range of emotions from like both sides of the spectrum. And I'm like, holy smokes, this show, how does it do this? Man, there's that. And so the last, because I haven't watched the final one that came out Sunday night, but the one before it with
David,
with David and them. Oh man, that one is the whole time. And the thing is too, like having played the game, like I know what's gonna happen. I know the gist of it, and so that's even the best part too. Is sitting there with my brother-in-law Toby, watching it, and like, oh man,
you're still like, clenched up, like you don't know what's gonna.
I'm so tense and stuff, but also like I know, and I'm just like, oh man, that dinner, and then and like later when they finally revealed the thing, I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I knew it.
Did you see when Troy was eating that and then he kind of like lurched a little bit?
I loved that. I loved like the nuance, and like I was surprised at how good I've never seen him act in real life. He always does voice acting. I'm like, all right, cool. He's a good actor. Hey, look at that. He's not just a one trick pony. Like he can get by in front of a camera too. Oh, we've totally lost JJ here. He must have totally unplugged his computer or something.
Well, that's fine. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, that show. Go freaking watch that show. All right. I think that was it for that. Unfortunately, yeah, JJ wanted to talk about some stuff, but we'll move on here to the last question, which is from Sir Prince-A-Lot. And he asked, were there any wacky urban legends where y'all grew up? We lived right next to where Jesse James was from, so everyone and their dog claimed that him and his posse came by and that their folks' homes took stray bullets. That's kind of funny. Like basically just for generations, like, oh yeah, I remember getting shot up by Jesse James. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Do you have any urban legends from your area, Adrian?
I do. So in the Bay Area, there is a place called Gravity Hill. It is a kind of stretch of road out in almost like the middle of nowhere. But when you get down there, The urban legend is that there are kids who died in an accident around that area, like in a fire. So when you get there, there's a certain when you get to the base of the hill, you're supposed to put your car in neutral, and the car rolls up the hill.
Oh.
And the urban myth of the part of it is if you put baby powder on your car before you start rolling up, when you get out, because it rolls you to the top of the hill, and then when you get out, you'll see little handprints in the baby
like on
powder.
The bumper.
Right, like they were pushing the car up the hill.
So creepy.
That's the urban legend.
That's awesome. Oh man, that's so creepy. Have you ever tried it?
Too chicken. Nope. Because what if it is? What if it is little kids? I don't know what to do.
If I ever come visit, we got to go do it. We're definitely filming it.
Fine.
Spooky gamer boys.
Yeah, that's the only way.
That's what we can do this year. Instead of doing like little shorts and skits, let's just like bust urban myths and urban legends and stuff, and like go like.
Well, let me see what yours is, just in case it's too much.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned, I don't know if I want to do. No.
We got to do mine. We got to do yours. Go ahead.
So I grew up near this. It was an old an asylum for the chronic insane, and it was the Willard Asylum for the Chronic Insane. You can Google it and look it up, and there's like pictures and articles and stuff about it. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm recommending, like, it's actually kind of interesting, kind of creepy stuff. But yeah, it was built in like the late 1800s, if I remember right, and was exactly that. It was for like just insane people or people with mental illness and stuff. And unfortunately, back in the day, you know, doctors and people, we didn't understand mental illness, so it was treated with shock therapy, like literally just electrocuting them with metal rods, or like doing like crazy surgeries and stuff like lobotomies or whatnot. Ice baths, like freezing them out to stick them into like freezers and stuff, and like literally trying to chill them out. So twisted and dark and messed up, and like they did a lot of that stuff there. And so as a kid, you know, whenever we drive by, it was always like if you look out, you know, at a certain time at night or whatever, or when it's, you know, after the sun goes down, you'll see like a ghost up in whatever window, or, you know, don't get too close to the fence. It was all like fenced off because it's like 1995 or something, it shut down, and was turned into like a rehab center for like people who got but it was more like a prison, not just a rehab. It was like, hey, if you got charged with a criminal like an actual crime with drugs, you would get sent there to recover. Mm-hmm. And so like, but you know, that wasn't the scary part. People are like, oh, if you get too close, so like the ghost will like grab you or pull you in or whatever. Like, I don't know. As at school, like kids always had these crazy stories. Like, yeah, I had a friend who lived across the street. He's like, I saw it out my window. I looked out my window and saw whatever, so and so, or crazy people running around, like these spirits and ghosts, and very, very eerie. But yeah, you look at some of the pictures and it's like such a creepy place, like some of the photos that have been taken inside there like recently. So yeah, it was
and you want to go to this place, you said?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like after I said that, and then I'm like, wait, do I really want to go to this haunted insane asylum? Like, is that what I want to do? That's literally the plot of what's that game? You did it for Spooky Gamer Boys
Outlast?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, that's literally what you want to do.
That's literally the plot of Outlast. So maybe let's not do that. Fly to New York and, you know, break into. That's the other thing. It also, yeah, it's still a federal, you know, prison for people with drug charges, so that'd probably be illegal too.
Well, you know, anything for the content, right?
Anything for the content. It's fine. We just tell them we're YouTubers and we're good.
They're like, oh, go on in.
Yeah, you're good. Boy, JJ's really actually gone. He's not even texting. I just realized like he hasn't even texted or anything. Usually he's like, hey, I'll be right back.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Rest in peace,
Move
JJ.
on with the show, we must.
Oh man. All right, well, that is it for the mailbag. So now it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
So good. Would have been nice to have the original, but you know.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
He refuses to buy a computer, but here we are.
It says he's online. I'm looking at Discord. It says green light. So you know what? Whatever. He's missing out. All right. This first news story comes to us from IGN. Written by George Yang over there. Starfield is delayed again. Launches in September. Bethesda has delayed Starfield once again, as the game will now launch in September for PC and Xbox Series X and S. There will also be a Starfield Direct on June 11th, right after the Xbox Games Showcase. And a new official launch date announcement trailer below, Bethesda's Todd Howard confirmed that the highly anticipated game will release this year. I've heard that one before. We have poured ourselves into this game, and even I'm surprised how much we can pour. What? It is large. We're playing the game all the time, he explained. Well, give it to us then. If you're playing it, why can't we play it? The Starfield Direct in June will provide a deep dive into the game, as Howard continued. There's so much that we will have to show you. The game has many of the hallmarks that you'd expect from us, but it's also a very unique experience. Earlier this year, Phil Spencer hinted that Microsoft and Xbox would have a presence around the E3 with his, what is this? What is happening? With his Starfield Direct lining up perfectly. The game was originally set to launch on November 11th, 2022, but was delayed into the first half of 2023, and now finally confirmed for September. That's it for this article. There's not much more to it other than it got delayed, but just how bizarre is, I don't know, the whole business around this game, because I just don't understand what how could it be that far off? How can your target be that far off? Is what I'm
because it was never they were never ready in the first place. I think honestly that was Xbox pushing them, being like, hey, we need something. You can put it out and figure it out, but we need to put something on the board, because they haven't really put out a game of substance outside of Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
In like the last year or so. And it seems like that trend is going to continue, because one good game a console purchase does not make. And the reaction to this online was definitely one of, well, people were upset, and I think they honestly are well within their right to be, of course, within reason. Don't go threatening developers or anything like that, like those dumbos like to do sometimes.
Yeah.
But that last, development is tough. Making a game is no small feat, of course. But Xbox said that at the last showcase that this was stuff coming out in the next, 6 months, 12 months, something like that?
No, it was the next year, because it was in the summer, and they said within the next, so by next E3, basically, like everything should be out. Was the idea. So
and now here we are, right? Starfield was the big push, the big marquee title, and it's moved out of those 12 months.
Yeah.
So had I still been an Xbox owner, which I'm formerly one, I would have definitely been upset, because what am I playing?
Hi-Fi Rush.
I'm not. Yeah, look, Hi-Fi Rush is phenomenal, right? It is in my top games of the year right now. At this point, that game is not worth $300.
No, oh no,
asking price to step into the door. It's not. I don't think there's. I could maybe count on 3 fingers games that, like, if it was only on that platform, I would break for it, right? Mm-hmm. But you're asking people, even with Game Pass, to A, pay at least $300 to get in the door, or B, have a beefy enough gaming rig to really get the best experience out of Game Pass, which is exponentially more than $300. So I don't know. I don't know how they justify this. Yeah, there's really no way to.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, we've said it a few times, but it's just like I'm not sure what they're doing over at Xbox. Like it's such a bummer, because they have a plethora of just fantastic game studios that they've acquired over the last 5, 6, 7 years or whatever, and yeah, with nothing to show for it. And it's sad. Is really, like, for a while it was frustrating and annoying, but I'm at the point now where I'm just like sad about it now. I'm like, man, like all these awesome studios that probably want to put out cool things and just aren't or can't, or I don't know what the deal,
or
I don't know whether it's Xbox's problem, like they're making them hold back, or if it's the studios are dragging their feet. I don't know whose fault it is, but either way, it's a sad situation because there's like a lot of talent that's locked up, and it's like, man, why can't they just get something out there?
It's a mixture, right? Because every Microsoft Studios game that has come out since the start of the X and S generation has been, you know, bad to middling, bad to okay. So it's honestly kind of on the devs too. If they're not getting enough time from the top brass at Xbox to make the games that they want to make, or if they just aren't up to snuff to make those games, it's they I don't know, they just, it feels like they've been dealt a bad hand. I really think Xbox has too much going on.
Yeah, just too much.
And it's too late to take it back.
Yeah, they have too many like plates spinning right now, and on top of that, they're trying to still acquire more studios. It's like they can barely. They're still adjusting to like handling all the studios they already acquired, and then. But
even before,
bring in the dump truck, bring in more, back it up.
But even before this, like back in the Xbox One days, it was the same deal where we barely got. What do we get? We got Gears 5, which was good. We got Forza, which was good. Halo 5 was not that great. I'm being, polite.
I'm generous on that one, yeah.
But it's the same deal, right? There were droughts way back in the Xbox One generation. And you're right, Garrett. They have all the pieces, right? They have the fantastic developers. The Series S and the Series X are both excellent pieces of kit, but there's nothing to use on them that you can't get elsewhere.
Right.
So,
yeah. I really enjoyed Jeff Grubb's tweet from last week when this news came out. He said, impressed that Xbox was able to make June 2022 to September 2023 go by in just 12 months. I love that. This is totally like tongue-in-cheek because sarcastic. Sometimes he's a real jerk, but other times he's like, he's a real good, like he has some funny one-liners sometimes.
But bringing it back to the news about Starfield, this is honestly taking all the wind out of my sails for it.
Yeah.
Like we were already kind of standoffish at the first preview of it, but now seeing that they need more time after more time, which granted take all the time you need to make the game that you want to make, but something's up and they're not saying what it is, that they have to take almost an extra entire year to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, if it comes out and it's good, fantastic. But I don't know. I have concerns.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think I'm warranted to have them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think anyone's concerns are like, if someone didn't have concerns, I would be concerned, if someone's like, no, this is fine, this is normal, I'd be like, yeah, are you sure about that?
Right.
Like, there's some issues here. Like, all right. The next news story comes to us from Forbes, written by Paul Tassi. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League reportedly delayed to be, quote unquote, polished after backlash.
Oh no, what a bummer. Oh boy, oh no.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has been hit with another major delay, according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. While not publicly confirmed, it's being reported that the game will not be out this May, just 2 months from now, as previously promised, and will be out later in the year instead. This is after the game was already delayed out of 2022 to its current spring release date. It's been a strangely rocky road for Suicide Squad, given that everyone assumed that Rocksteady's next post-Arkham superhero game would be a slam dunk, no matter what it was. But last month, Suicide Squad took center stage during a high-profile PlayStation showcase, and the reaction was poor, to say the least. Gameplay looks strange, like some sort of version of Crackdown, with characters flying through the air, all shooting some form of weaponry. But the main problem appeared to be the model itself, in that rather than being a story-focused single-player outing, Suicide Squad is a co-op loot-based shooter with live service elements with more characters and content promised after release. The trailer talked about gear score and showed off looted weaponry that would be shared across all classes, meaning King Shark and Harley Quinn wield the same guns. However, this current delay, which at most is likely to be a few more months, is not going to lead to a complete overhaul of the game. It can't, as it's far too late to redesign the entire concept of the game away from the games as a service version. Instead, it's mostly about polishing what is there. This is a quote. It doesn't say who it's from, which is interesting for Forbes to do that. But it says someone, quote, said, "The delay is necessary mostly to fix bugs and improve aspects of the game that were lagging behind and won't overhaul much of the core gameplay that had led to the backlash," the person said, asking not to be named, discussing information that isn't public. So possibly someone at the studio. Mm-hmm. It's unclear how Suicide Squad will be received in the end. There are also baseline problems with the IP as DC keeps pushing the Suicide Squad concept despite 2 different movies, one terrible and one good one that didn't make enough money. Now we have this game which stars similar characters when everyone thought Rocksteady's next project would have been a Superman or Wonder Woman title or something like that. There's a lot of proof here, so if the core concept can't be changed now, at the very least it needs to launch polished and mostly bug-free. I don't know if you guys caught the PlayStation State of Play that happened in February. I was watching it live. Yeah, I don't know if you caught it, but it was, what did you say, Adrian, before? It was like 15 minutes of gameplay they showed off.
Yeah.
Pretty much all gameplay. I think there was a little, like a couple cutscenes and trailers, but mostly just all gameplay. And to say it was rough is even like an understatement. Like it.
Nice.
Okay, I will give it this. Graphically, it looked fine.
Oh yeah.
But
everything else,
it was basically exactly what they said, Crackdown style, where you're just like flying and jumping through cities and shooting things up and things. Shoot the purple thing. I saw someone tweet about that. I forget who it was. Someone tweeted about it. It was just like, it's just the shoot purple thing simulator. Like, yeah, all the enemies are purple. With the big boss monsters have like purple spots that, illuminate their weak spots, and it's like, okay, so it's just the purple shooter simulator kind of thing. And someone else brought up, like, why in the heck is what's his name, King Shark, shooting a gun? That was me.
Why is he
was
shooting?
It you?
He's insanely strong. He rips people apart. He eats people. What are we doing?
His whole thing
Why is he shooting guns?
And his violence and ferocity, and they were just like, give him a gun.
Big old King Shark holding a little Uzi, looking like this, like it's a little toy water gun in his hand. Come on, dude. It's
absolutely insane. Which like in turn, like I heard, because you tweeted that, and then someone responded, right, kind of like, well, they got to keep it balanced or something like that. I saw someone talking about like they got to be able to balance the characters out, basically. So like obviously,
balance, make them slow, make them hit hard, but make them slow. There, it's balanced. What are you talking about?
I don't. Well, I mean, that's the thing.
What they mean is they have to make all the players or all the characters play the exact same so that they unlock the battle pass stuff at the same rate.
Right. Bro. And that's what exactly. and that is what they meant. That's what they're saying. It's like, well, why we don't want that. Why we don't want any of that. I don't know. Yeah.
They tried to do that with Avengers, and look what happened. That flopped too.
Yeah, that just got shut down, right? They shut down the servers recently. Like it lasted a couple years, and there's a few diehards who loved it, but in general, it was a complete failure. So why do people keep trying it? Like it just keeps failing over and over again.
You got me.
JJ, have you seen any of the gameplay at all, or just?
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of King Shark, the character, and I'm a big fan of Samoa Joe, who voices the character in this game. It's one of those games that I actually contemplated getting until I saw the trailer during that PlayStation Play. Yeah, I'm like, to me, it comes across like Gotham Knights.
It looks like boring.
It's of the same vein. It's like, there's nothing there. There's no meat on the bone.
Yeah, they lean so hard into like the looter shooter aspect of it too. It's like, okay, so they took all the fun things that's in the Borderlands games, and they got rid of it and just took all the boring things. They're like, hey, all this fun stuff in the looter shooter genre, we're not going to do that. We're just going to take the basic core game mechanic and then put like crappy stuff on top of it. And it's like, wait, why not take the good things of looter shooters? Like, people like looter shooters. Like, that's not a bad genre.
Right.
It's just there's certain things that you should have in there to make it fun, like a good story and like decent characters, and
I don't mind upgrades. I don't mind new weapons at all. I don't mind that stuff.
Yeah, don't worry about balancing things. Just like make it fun. Like who cares about if it's balanced? Like I don't want to but that's the thing. Everyone wants to have the next big multiplayer online experience. Everything's got to be competitive now. It's like, why can't it just be fun?
It's got to be competitive, and it's got to be monetizable.
There's not gonna be a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League Grand World Championship, one day. Like, so why? Just don't fuss with it. I don't know. It's so frustrating because remember back before we knew what this game was a couple years ago, how naive we were to think that Rocksteady's next game 10 out of 10. Always, like, they only put out 10 out of 10s. Always. Man, it was dude,
I don't know. I remember when the rumor was that they were making a Turtles game, and I was so stoked because of how good Batman was. They would have knocked that out of the park.
Man. Yeah. There was like so many awesome speculations from Superman. They mentioned the article, Superman, Wonder Woman, Turtles came up. Like, there's so many awesome heroes they could have picked. And it's like, it's Suicide Squad, and it's gonna suck.
So seeing Suicide Squad right now, this is a serious question. I know that none of us believe that Arkham Knight was actually a game. We'll leave it there. We have to go on, dig deeper there. But with Rocksteady screwing this presentation up of Suicide Squad, do you guys think they even have it in them to pull off a regular killer Batman game? If they were to go and say, hey, we'd like for you guys to produce the next Batman game.
Absolutely.
Do you think that they could?
I mean, they did it twice before. They did it with Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Is this the third round?
I fully trust if it was that same formula, or if they took that development, like, what's the word? Ethos, and put it towards another property, I'd be all about it. Like, I think one of the rumors, like you said, Garrett, was Superman. I think that there was also a talk of a Wonder Woman game that they could have done, which they should have ran with, because the Wonder Woman design in this game is phenomenal, and I think they should have ran with that. But of course, games with women in them don't sell, unfortunately. So you have to think about that. But
Lara Croft.
Same deal. It didn't sell.
Yeah, I mean, the most recent Tomb Raider is like
the original ones, dude. The most recent ones were knockoff. Like they
no way, dude. Those were great.
At least the first one I played, it was really good. They were good. Have you tried them? Have you even tried them, JJ?
Yes, I've tried it. But I played the originals.
Well, so did I.
I loved the orioriginals.
You just like the boobies.
I did. I liked the boobies. The boobies were really nice. They were nice boobies.
I love my boobies like I love my pyramids.
But I would 100% trust them if they wanted to go back and do a story-based game. Like, even if this was Suicide Squad, if it was a story-based, fun-looking game, I would have been all about it, which is what I thought we were going to get. But then the leaks came out that, somebody said it had a battle pass, and then that turned out to be true. And here we are with, loot and gear numbers, and it's not what I want.
Yeah, imagine if it was like more like Asylum, or not Asylum, but just like the Arkham series. I mean, if it were more like Arkham, like imagine that being able to like go through a campaign and like section by section, and maybe different sections you play as the different characters in the Suicide Squad, but like it's like, it focus more on the story and less on the multiplayer. Like that's ultimately what needed to be happening with this game, is like just keep it single player. Like there's enough multiplayer games out there. Like I don't know. Again, everyone wants to try to break through that barrier. They want to be the first one, like, we're going to figure it out. But I don't know. There's something that works, and it's nice when you just stick with what works, because that's how you make good games. Like this,
if you make a good game from the beginning, the money will come.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that's not enough. If you make a complete experience and then you want to add DLC down the road, then that's how you can continue your path to continue revenue. Yeah. You don't have to do microtransactions every 15 minutes while I'm playing the game. Just give me a complete experience that if I didn't want to, hey, you got the $60, $70 out of me that one time, right? But if I wanted to keep playing, if I wanted more chapters, then I could buy that deal like Spider-Man did. Spider-Man was exactly that. You could play the game front to back and it was a complete game. But then they put out DLC. If you wanted more Spider-Man stuff, if this is a new little story bit, just pay this little bit for the DLC and here you go. But you didn't feel shafted because you didn't play the extra stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's and I also want to go back to like what I said. I'm not against innovation. Like doing new things is great.
Right.
But there's ways to do new things and still incorporate the things that like work and that are good. Like I feel like there's like certain core tenets in game development that people know like, oh, this is what like everyone's on the internet. Like it's not that hard to just be like, oh, this is what gamers like and what they don't like. But I feel like
right, like boobies. Exactly, Garrett. We're simpatico. Exactly, and they let us down.
Yep, that's
so
exactly
clearly you haven't played
about,
the new Tomb Raider then.
We're not talking about Tomb Raider anymore, are we?
No. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, I have a suspicion it's gonna not be good, but you never know. Maybe it'll come out and somehow in the next like 3 to 5 months they turn it around and it's fine.
It's always a possibility. Like I always say, you never want a game to be bad, right? So,
right. Yeah.
But you have to be realistic. And
100%.
It ain't looking good at this point in time. But things could change.
Exactly. Just like things are changing over at Playdate. Eurogamer, this is written by Matt Wales, writes, Playdate launches curated on-device store, announces $20 price increase. Playdate, the dinky, why that's a funny word to use.
How dare
the dinky yellow, the dinky yellow gaming handheld. That's what JJ. Never mind. The dinky yellow gaming handheld with a crank with some nifty games is getting an on-device store known as Catalog and an imminent $20 price increase. Catalog, which Playdate creator Panic describes as a boutique, digital, on-device, and web-based storefront, arrives today and marks something of a departure for the company, which has so far only distributed Playdate games through a seasonal release model. With the arrival of Catalog, however, players can purchase individual titles on demand either directly from their Playdate or via the Catalog website. 16 games and apps will be available at launch, 11 of which are brand new, and Panic says it'll be expanding the curated selection over time. It also assures owners it'll remain possible to sideload and purchase Playdate games and apps from other storefronts such as itch.io and Gumroad. Catalog's launch games listed below vary dramatically in price, ranging from $1 to $15, but two, both developed by Sweet Baby Inc., are free to download as bonuses to Playdate's current Season 1. These are Heist Game, Real Steel, and Recommendation Dog, an adorable action puzzle game about being a tiny dog with a very big job. Alongside today's storefront news, Panic also announced it will be increasing the price of Playdate from $179 to $199 starting on April 7th. That $20 delta, the company explains, is largely because our factory recently gave us the inevitable news that in 2023, the price of building a single Playdate is going up. Playdate, which has sold over 25,000 units since its launch in April last year, can still only be purchased via a pre-order waiting list. The Panic says Playdate will remain available at its current price until April 7th. And finally, here's a complete list of today's catalog launch games, which I don't need to name them all off. You can find them. I recommend even watching the update video they put out because it has like little trailers and stuff from them. You can actually see them because that's the charm. I could name them off here and it doesn't mean anything. Go watch the video because their videos are always so like charming. Exactly that. So cute. So like, I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just like, oh man. So yeah. I don't know. I love their stuff. It's fantastic.
I could have been in one.
And you didn't?
No, I'm saying like if I would have had got that job.
Oh, right. Hey, you never know. Yeah. We got some ties over there.
That's true. That's true.
We got connections over at Playdate. I mean, heck, your Playdate reaction from like a year and a half ago is one of our biggest videos on our channel with over like 6,000 views or something like that. So
that's how we even got in touch with them in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. They shared it in their They shared it in like their
inner office,
their inner office like memo email that goes around, and then they also shared it on their like the one that went out to like people who pre-ordered the Playdate, which is crazy. So like we were in like they were like advertising our video for like showing off our video.
It was
like,
that. It was
so crazy.
People from there were hitting me up. Like there's multiple people from there that like follow me after that from Panic. Yeah,
it's so awesome.
A trip.
Yeah. So hey, Panic, if you're ever doing anything cool, hit us up. We'd love to. We'll ship Adrian out.
I've said that multiple times. I will be for nothing. I will be a brand evangelist for.
They're up in Portland, right?
Yeah, for Playdate.
We'll fly you up to Portland.
Send me the shirt. Send me whatever goodies you got. I'm all about it.
Maybe you just need to show up. Maybe let's just fly you up there and you just knock on the door and be like, hey, recognize me. Recognize me. And then you got to do the face like from the thumbnail and like hold your Playdate next to your face. Like, they're like,
oh, it's
that guy. Yeah. Oh man, that would be fantastic.
Come on in.
But yeah, have you, Adrian? I only briefly looked through the catalog and I downloaded a game, one of the free ones, but was not able to play it because I've been finishing up book club games and stuff like that. But you said you were able to play one or two of the games. Which one were you able to pick up there?
Yes, I got the 2 free games. I got Recommendation Dog and Real Steel. Mm-hmm. I also bought another one that I've been waiting on for a long time. I've actually been going back and forth with the developer of, and it's the game Direct Drive. It's the one where you use the crank to turn the Victrola, the record player. So you kind of keep the speed as the singer is singing the whatever song it is.
Right. It's like a rhythm game with the crank, right?
Yeah, in a sense. So between Direct Drive and Recommendation Dog, I have had my Playdate on me pretty much at all times. It's awesome. The only way. I've been so busy this like past couple of weeks. If I'm home, I'm barely able to do anything. So it's nice to have that to just, kind of pull out and get a few minutes on. But both of those right now, that's kind of what I've been all about. We'll talk about more about it on what you've been playing, but
yeah.
For sure, those 2 have definitely been a standout. So yeah, Direct Drive and Recommendation Dog.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping to check some of those out sooner than later because I every game I've played on the Playdate has just been so fantastic. Like I don't think I've ever played a game and been like, ooh, this is bad. Like they're all like, at the worst, they're just like, oh, this is fun, but it's just like not necessarily for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and at the best, it's like, oh, I could get lost in this for a long time. Like there's not been any bad games. Like honestly, to me, they're all like, okay, these are all like at the very least 7 out of 10s and like better. Like,
they're dangerous because I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm playing something and I'm playing it for such a long time and I'm like, oh, I have an Indie Boys to work on. I got to play the book club game.
Yeah.
So I had to force myself to stop.
Oh man. Crazy. Yeah. Well, so go get it. Go pre-order it now before it goes up $20 in April.
Yeah. I think it's April 7th you have until it goes up to 200. So don't say we didn't warn you.
And I'm not sure how long like pre-orders are going out because I know it's probably still a pretty long wait. Like if you order one, it says late 2023. So if you get pre-order one now, you probably won't get it till like November, December, if I was to guess. But
it is worth the wait.
It's
Trust us.
It's worth it. It's fun. It's just such a fun little console. It's so fresh and different than anything else out there. So go check it out.
And I need that speaker dock too.
Oh yeah, when is that coming out? That's what you need to do. Go up to Portland, knock on the door, and be like, "Hey, where's the speaker dock? Give me the inside scoop." I saw you guys were starting
to work on that dock. You need any help?
Yeah. All right. Well, that is it for the news this week. Now it is time for our Patreon ad. This is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there starting at just $1 a month, where you can get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show and Super Gamer Book Club. Remember, you can catch those 2 months early by supporting us just at $1 a month. You get this, our Super Gamer Boys podcast right after we finish recording on Monday nights. I send it out to you guys to listen to right away. Everyone else has to wait until Wednesday. So think about doing that. And you don't have to listen to this part. This whole ad section, gone. Fantastic. So support us there, $1 a month, $5 a month. You can get the show notes early, so you'll know exactly what we're going to be talking about. You can leave your own questions, comments, concerns, thoughts on the news, thoughts on the listener questions right there on the doc. So if you want to be a part of the show, have your answers read or your questions read right here live, know ahead of time what exactly we're going to be talking about, the inside scoop. Support us at $5 a month. $10 a month, you get a shout out in the show because you're a Super Gamer sponsor, and we appreciate you so much. Each and every episode, you'll get that shout out at the top of the show. And then the top dog tier is our Patreon producers, where you can be our boss and pitch segments and ideas and shows and whatnot. And, we do our best to give it the old college try. We've had some fun in the past. Super Indie Boys was originally a Patreon producer pitch from Adrian when he was a Patreon producer. We had Kachoma's Tall Tales of JJ, which lasted a little bit. So yeah, think about. It
may or may not have got canceled.
May or may not have, but yeah, go check it out. Patreon.com/supergamerboys. We'd very much appreciate it. And you can also support us if you're watching here live on Twitch, or even if you're not, go over to twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. You have to put the in front of it because Super Gamer Boys wasn't available on Twitch, but twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can link that to your Twitch account, and each month you get a free subscription with your Prime. It's called a Prime Gaming sub. Go ahead and throw that Prime Gaming sub our way. It doesn't cost you anything, totally free. We get $5 and you get access to our awesome emotes. We got the Adrian hype face. We got JJ's ghostly dead face, because that's kind of how he looks all the time, half dead, But yeah, we got some fun emotes, and it helps support the show. We really appreciate it. Last but not least, we got w.gg. That's right. You can go over to w.gg and use our code SGB, all caps, get 10% off your order, and we get a little bit of kickback. So literally, it doesn't cost you anything. You even get a discount, and then they give us a little cut of that. So think about heading over there if you want an energy drink that has no crash, no sugar, no gluten, and features the patented Neurofactor ingredient to help you focus better, work better, do better.
Neurofactor is the same active ingredient as Cialis and Viagra. So here's the deal. Not only are you not going to get a kickback, but she's going to get a kickback, if you know what I mean. So in the early wee hours of the morning, 2, 3 a.m., you throw back a little bit of that old Dubby energy drink. Think about Galaxy Grenade, right? Well, it turns your nuts into a grenade. And then you're able to just blow up all over the place. Thanks to Dubby. Dubby is amazing for your penis. It's not even about energy anymore. It's all about erections.
It's only about energy, just about energy, not about anything else.
It's a vasodilator, guys. So it actually allows better blood flow as that sucker opens up and just.
All right, I think that's good. I think that's a good place to stop there. We're not here for a science lesson, JD. You can do that on JJ Reviews, I guess. You can do JJ Reviews Dubby. You should do one of those.
Actually, that's not a terrible idea.
Not a terrible idea. But yes, you can use our code, get 10% off. They have fantastic flavors. My favorite is Galaxy Grenade. I've been nursing this bottle for a while. But I'm about out, so I'll probably be ordering some new ones, and I'll give you guys the scoop on whether those flavors are good or not. They probably are. I haven't had a bad one yet, so go check them out. All right, let's get back to the show. Alrighty, this is the part of the show where I ask you to a question.
Mm-hmm.
And that is,
are you okay?
JJ, what you playing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks for remembering that I'm here on the show. I appreciate that.
Hang on. You left the show for like 20 minutes, so you can't say we forgot about you. Kind of like Irish goodbye, just whoop, is gone.
You know what it was? I created a whole situation about the internet, when in reality, what was really going on
you had to take
is I had to drop a Garrett. Yeah, like so.
What?
But I am feeling, that's what I call it. It's dropping a Garrett, and then when you wipe, you're wiping your Morlang. So it's a whole thing. Listen, here's the deal.
I hate that so much.
As far, keep that in. You edit that out, and I'm gone, man. I'm leaving the show. You keep that in. I want everybody to hear that. I want everybody to know. That's what I call taking a crap.
Even my parents.
And you ask anybody. Ask your parents. They know. They're going to say to you, we knew that JJ calls it that. He said that in several emails. Okay. So here's the deal. I haven't played anything over the last few weeks.
Yeah, you've been fighting termites in Argentina.
Termites in Argentina. And also I've been having some family issues, and there's been quite a bit of family stuff going on. So that's one of the reasons that I've actually been off the show lately. When you have kids sometimes and they need you, you kind of got to be there or whatever, or then CPS gets called. So, there's just been some family stuff going on. And honestly, I haven't had any time to sit down and play a video game in weeks. And I miss it very much. I don't think I remember how to play if I picked up a controller at this point right now. So sadly...
All right.
Sadly,
nothing.
No.
Not even like cut the rope on the toilet on your phone or something.
No.
I know.
No, when I'm taking a Garrett. Yeah. No. A Temple Run. Temple Run.
Okay.
That doesn't. But according to Adrian, mobile games don't count. Adrian said that many times.
Yeah, I've said that many times with my Apple Arcade subscription. Many times.
Oh man. All right, Adrian. Then what you playing?
Like I said, we were talking about earlier, I've been mostly playing Playdate lately. So Recommendation Dog is one of the big ones. And the way that it works is you work in an office and you have different clients that kind of burst into the door, and they'll say, for example, like, I work at a office. I need someone who's charismatic and quick at their job, right? And then you look down kind of like you would at a desk, and you look at a Rolodex of all the different contacts that you have, kind of like a temp agency in a sense. And you find the best one, and then you click it, but you're under a time limit. So you have to keep going and flipping through to find the best one. And it has to match up the profession and the stats at the same time, and the clock is ticking. So you feel like, oh, come on, I got to figure it out. And then hopefully you get it in time.
That sounds amazing.
Wow,
yeah,
that sounds fun.
That just sounds like so, like, again, like, it's not necessarily like deep, gripping storytelling, but it's also like that just sounds like such a fun thing to me. That's like, I don't know, like just flipping through a Rolodex and just
it could get stressful because you got to find that person, or you only get 3 times to miss.
Okay.
To not recommend anybody.
I'm gonna start that download right now, so I don't forget about that.
No, that game rules. And then on the other hand, I've also been playing, like I was saying earlier, I've been playing Direct Drive, which is a rhythm. I would call it a rhythm game. Like I said, where you work at a recording agency or a recording company. You're kind of an intern, and your job is to work the Victrola because the motor had gone out on it. It's the 1920s, if you're curious, and you're turning the crank to turn the record on the Victrola so that you can keep the music in time while the artist is performing. So you have to do it just in time. You can't do it too fast. You can't do it too slow, or else it's going to mess everything up. And the music tempo actually changes as it gets faster and slower. The key changes. You can see the artist who's singing, they get upset, like different. They'll be like one of them, they point at their watch when it's like they're trying to tell you to keep time while they're singing.
Yeah.
Just different stuff like that.
That's awesome.
That sounds so much fun.
Yeah. So it's pretty sick. That's the one where I happened to just get in touch with the developer of the game. We've been talking for a good long while, so I'd actually been waiting on that one because that was part of the original Playdate preview. Was his
I do remember seeing it. Yeah,
it was only a few seconds of it, but I remember that standing out because I was like, dude, no way. Like, the capabilities of what Playdate can do is amazing. And then right after that video dropped, he DM'd me and he was like, hey, I really appreciate, you looking into that or reacting like to my game like that. It kind of gives, devs fuel to keep going, knowing that people are looking forward to their stuff. And here we are years later, but we're here and it's out. So I'm proud of them. And the game is great. I can't recommend both of those games enough. So
yeah, go get a Playdate. What are you doing with your life? Go get a Playdate. All right. Well, I have been playing my Steam Deck nonstop. Man. So 1 week impressions here. This thing, I honestly only have mind-blowing. I have very minor gripes, and it's mainly just like maneuvering the menus. Like, it's just annoying to the way the menu system is sometimes. But otherwise, this thing is perfect. Like, I don't have any other gripes about it. I haven't been able to play any like high performing games on it. I installed Cyberpunk and Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn and Control and all these big, but like, unfortunately I had, not unfortunately, but I just have had other obligations with, we have our book club game. So I set it up with so I can play PS2 games on there. So I started Grand Theft Auto Vice City on there a little bit. And then I'm actually going to be guesting on a Call Me By Your Game co-op episode talking about Half-Life. Mm-hmm. And I played Half-Life on there. Oh, don't say.
Anytime you say it, you know that Zech shows up.
Oh, no. It has to be the full thing. There's different Half-Lives. We're not talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one from.
We're good. We're safe.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Please.
We're fine.
Okay. All right.
We're good.
Okay. But yeah, so I've been playing that original one from 1998, and so like I feel like I haven't been able to like really push it to its limits and like explore the boundaries and what it's capable of, because I'm playing a game from 1998 and Vice City is from like the early 2000s, right? So it's like, all right, I'm not really doing anything crazy, but once I'm finished up with these games, I'm really excited to finally jump into like I'm most curious about Cyberpunk 2077. That game at launch could barely run on my computer with a 3070 in it. The fact that it's supposedly Steam Deck verified and it's supposed to run good.
It's going to be a cool 480p. I can tell you that right now.
I'm really curious what it's going to look like. So I'm like, that's probably the first, even before Death Stranding, I'll probably fire up Cyberpunk just to see if my Steam Deck light's on fire. I don't know.
If I could interject real quick, I was able to fire up Control on mine. I only played it for about 30 minutes, and let me tell you, impressed is not enough to say how I felt about that experience. It ran at a stable 800p, 30 frames a second. I had it on medium settings.
Okay.
And I even had some anti-aliasing on there, and yeah, it okay. Definitely indoors it ran at a stable 30 to 40. And then in the sections where it's like white space almost, that one ran at a pretty much high 50 to 60. But there was never any like sub 30 slow down, anything like that. And it looks for being on the Steam Deck, like the screen itself, I think it looks perfectly fine.
Not bad at all.
So yeah, not bad. Definitely impressed with that hardware.
That's one thing I love about the Steam Deck too, is just the capability of customizing the way the game plays, just like you can on PC. So it's literally it's a switch, but if you could go in the back and be like, I want to push a little more. Like I love, like you hit not the Steam button. So there's like the Steam button, which is like the home button, and then there's like another button that almost brings up like the options. But it varies from game to game what options you can have availability there. But there's a performance menu, and like, okay, do you want to cap your frames, your frames per second at 30 or 60, or you can unlock it. You can just let it go as like you let it work as hard as it wants to work, basically. Or what type of anti-aliasing do you want to have on? And I love going through and messing with all the switches and knobs and stuff, and like watching my battery life go from 8 hours to like 45 minutes. But it's just
I will tell you you better watch, better not call it that around Valve, because they absolutely consider this a PC, like through and through. Because you said it was like a Switch, kind of.
I mean, it's if a PC, it's a console. It's a console.
I know.
They can call it a PC all they want, but it's a console. I'm sorry.
I mean, it has an operating system, a full operating system on it. So
right, but I'm not doing my taxes on there.
But you could.
I get you are right. You are right. It has Firefox, and you can plug a mouse and keyboard into it. But I'm not gonna do my taxes. On
Garrett doesn't actually do his taxes, Adrian. That's like not something he does.
I haven't done taxes in years, actually.
Oh no.
I didn't realize. I thought that was something you did when you turned like 18, and that was it.
The one time? You thought you just paid taxes one time? That was it?
Just the one time. When you become an adult, you pay taxes, then that's it.
So I actually just had my oldest daughter have her first paycheck, have some money taken out of a job that she's doing, and she basically started doing her job. Didn't realize it was going to be so much, and then she told me, "Dude, that's not fair, Dad." And I'm like, "That's the real world. You have to pay taxes. How do you think the roads that we drive on are paid for?" She's like, "I don't know."
Even though they never get fixed.
Rich people.
They don't.
No, yeah, that's hilarious. But Steam Deck, go pick one up. So Playdate, that's your guys', that's everyone, all the listeners, all the viewers, your homework this week is go buy a Steam Deck and go buy a Playdate.
$700 out of nowhere.
If you got a cool grand, just go out there and just like throw it around just for fun, But no, seriously, they're both they're both very different. Playdate is so much more like Adrian was saying, like a casual, like I have 5 minutes to play something before the next meeting I have or something. And Playdate is perfection for that, because all the games are short little bite-sized things that are just so fun. But the Steam Deck, if you just want to be able to play console quality, PC quality, high quality games anywhere, boy, that's the way to go. Like, it's literally, it's the portability of the Switch, but if the Switch could actually play like high-end games and not just Mario, So it's great. I love it. And Steam always has game sales, always. And
dude,
they're so cheap. Like
just
today they had there's a bundle that had both of the Ori games. So I got both of them for like $8 or $9 or whatever. So I just picked that up today. So I got the first and second Ori game. I'm like, deal. Awesome. Great, I'm in. Like, this is perfect. I had the second one in my wish list, and then when I clicked on the second one, I noticed, because it said it was on sale, I was like, oh, there's a bundle, and the other one's on sale too. I'm like, well, okay, all right.
I'll take that.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I believe that is it for our show this week. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. We do it for you guys. I mean, we do it for us because it's fun. We enjoy it. I love hanging out with these two dudes, at least one of the dudes anyways.
I was going to say, come on, man. Come on. Adrian's right there. He's going to have his feelings hurt. Stop.
I'm a big boy. I can take it.
But we also love that you guys enjoyed as well. And appreciate all the listens, all the downloads, all the views. Make sure to like and subscribe over on YouTube. It helps tremendously. Leave a comment on the video. I appreciate the people who actually did write in last week when we called out and said, hey, if you make it this far, comment in. I believe it was actually just one person. So shout out to Maddie Tech. You're awesome. No one else did their home. No one else listened. I told you guys, hey, go comment. And only he did it, or they did it. So
hey,
thank you for doing that.
Much appreciated.
But make sure to subscribe. Make sure to listen. Make sure to tell your friends. If you love what we do and you want to help support us, go to patreon.com/supergamerboys. As mentioned earlier, get our episodes early and ad-free. It's just $1 a month. What else are you going to do with that dollar? Just throw it out the window when you're driving on the freeway? Might as well give it to us. That's what JJ does. That's why he's so...
I do that.
Just because he's so rich.
Yes, and...
You can also support us by going to sgbstore.com and buying our merch. We got t-shirts, we got mugs, we got stickers, we got some fun stuff over there. So go check it out. w.gg/nothing. Just w.gg. Use our code SGB to get 10% off your order. Shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on their show. Remember to listen to them on Apple Music and Spotify. Add them to your playlist so they regularly come up and you always remember them and you never forget them and you listen to them all the time. You become their biggest fan, and then maybe one day you even go to Bandcamp and purchase their albums. That's what you should do. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
And JJ down there in the corner.
Hey, you guys can always find me over at JJ Prudham on Twitter and Instagram and on every social media site at Suplex City Pod. The Suplex City Wrestling Podcast has been a lot of fun. I do that each and every week. And of course, we're getting into WrestleMania season. We'd love to see you over there at youtube.com/at Suplex City Pod.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got. So, JJ, you want to take us away?
All right. Hey, thank you so much, guys, for joining us here this week. And for all those Argentinians, the people with the umbangi boobies that were running around. I miss you already. And I thank you, each and every one of you ladies. You were so good. And the massages were so nice.
Okay. All right.
For myself,
focus.
For myself, JJ Purdom, for Garrett Morlang, and for Adrian, the Homeboy Holmes. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop. All right. So, JJ, are you actually going to be here next week?
We'll see.
Or is it going to be another month before?
There could be another country. I'll figure out the Discord thing.
Yeah, let's start that.